So this is the last lab in this green challenge. We have two labs in this. So let us start with the Dialogflow CX. Click on Start Lab. So now the lab is started and you can see the username and the password. Click on Open Google Console. Copy the username. Click Next. Copy the password. Next. Click on I understand. Google Cloud console is open. You have to accept the terms and conditions here. Click on agree and continue. Okay, now we'll go back to this. Let's first look at the task one. You need to create a agent. Visit the Dialogflow CX console. Okay, now we are in Dialogflow CX. Here need to select the project. So this is my project. I selected my project. Okay, once I select my project, I will get this dialog box. I need to enable this API. Click on enable API. Now go back to this. Check your progress. Okay, that is completed. Now click on create agent. And let me copy this. My agent name will be flight booker. Okay, click on create agent, flight booker, and the region it will be global. So we need to select this global. Leave rest of the field as is. Click on create. See, now the agent is created. So now we will navigate to agent settings, which is here. Okay, here general, login settings, enable cloud logging, enable interaction logging. These two you need to check. Then click save. So once this is done, I need to save this. Click on save. So the agent settings has been updated now. So once this is done, click on your progress. Okay, now it's marked as complete. You must enable the Dialogflow API for your project to be able to access the Dialogflow CX console. Yeah, that's true. Next, we'll move on to task 2, intents. So you have to create your first intent. So to do that, need to click on manage intents and create. So here manage intents, click on create. Here you will give the display name as main book a flight. So we'll just copy this, paste here. So next training phase, need to add all of this. Okay, flight, add, next. So now I have added all the training phases. Now I will click on save. Okay, now the intent is saved successfully. Next we'll go to task 3, flows and pages. So here what we have to do, you have to click on build and click on start to open a page. So from the expanded options on the start page, select the plus icon next to routes. Next on this, add route. Okay, select the intent main book a flight from the drop down, then click save. So you need to select this one and then click save. Okay, now this is done. Then next in the road section, click the main book a flight route. So you have to click this. After this, scroll down to transition. You need to select a new page. Now once you have selected the new page, name the page ticket information and click save. You have to give the page name as ticket information, then save it. So now this is done. Exit out of the window to return to the main display of flows to see your new ticket information. Connect it to the start page. Okay, just close this. So when you exit out of that, you can see the new flow like start and the ticket information. This is what we have added just now. Okay, the beginning of the flow now includes a greeting, and we will then proceed to ticket information page. Next, we'll proceed with the task for entities and parameters. Create your first set of parameters. Click on the page ticket information. You need to click on the ticket information page. Now let's start with the creating our first set of parameters. For that, need to click on the page ticket information. So that is available here. So if we go to default start flow, see, you need to click on ticket information. This is a page. You have to click on plus parameters. To collect flight data, enter departure city in the display name field. So we need to enter this in the display name field. Okay. Next, the entity type. So you need to select sys geocity. Okay. So select this one. Once that is done, scroll down to initial prompt fulfillment agencies and add what city would like to fly to depart from. So this is the one. Click on drop down agencies. Here you need to give that. You need to click save. Okay, this is done. Now this is added. These parameters have been added now. So let's start with adding remaining 4 parameters. Click on ticket information. So click on plus icon here. So here under parameters, we need to add all these 4. Departure date and entity type will be sysdate. Okay, I select that. This is required, and the agent says under the dialog, I need to copy paste this. Okay, once this is done, save it. Okay, this parameter is saved successfully. Let me add one more parameter here, which is a destination city. Okay, enter here destination city. Then the entity type is geocity. This is geocity. Okay, need to select that, and what agent says. Here you need to add destination city. Okay. Once this is done, save it. So I'll add another parameter, which is a return date, and the entity type for this is sysdate. Okay, I'll select this, and under agent dialog, I will just put this. It's a month and day for the returning flight. Okay, once this is done, just save it. Okay, now parameters is saved successfully. I just have one more parameter left, which is the passenger name. Okay, you can add the passenger name. This any is the entity type. Okay, this is the one, and then the agent says what's the passenger name. Okay, save this one. Okay, now all the parameters have been saved successfully. You can just go back and see. We have added 5 parameters here. Now 4 is completed now. Now moving on to task 5, conditions. So need to exit out of this window. Click on ticket information page. Here there is a routes, right? So we need to click on add routes. You need to scroll down. So this is a route page. Need to scroll down to condition page. Here I have to select the condition rules as match at least 1. Okay, parameter field you have to enter this. Just enter this. So here this is equal sign and then the value sign. Okay, this is add rule. That rule is added now. So once that is done, you just need to click on save. So just okay. So now click on save. So the route saved successfully. So what's the correct way to check if all parameters on page are filled? So this is a one. Page param status is equal to final, which we had it just now. Okay, now let's move on to tasks fulfillment. So now we need to locate the fulfillment. Okay, so under agent says type the following. Thank you for that information. Let me check on the availability of your ticket. So we just need to copy paste this in the dialog box. Okay, then click save. Okay, this is done now. Next, confirming information. So here you need to scroll down. This is the transition page. You have to come to the transition page. On the page field, select the drop down to choose a new page. So need to select a new page. So once you select a new page, you need to name it as confirm trip. Once you name it, just you need to save that. Okay, so this is done. Just in the transition field, you have selected a new page and you have named that page as confirm trip. Just save it and exit out of this. Okay, now we have added all this. Start information, confirm trip. 3 pages you can see now. Okay, from the build view, click on the confirm trip page, entry fulfillment, edit fulfillment field. So here, click on this, edit fulfillment page. Okay, so since you use 5 parameters, you can repeat them back to the user via the following session. So here, agent says, in the agent says section, you need to add this. It's done, you need to click on save. Once this is done, you just exit out of this. Under the confirm trip page, click on routes. Click the intents drop down. Okay, here you need to select the new intent. Okay, display in display name type confirmation dot s. Here you give that name. Okay, training phase, enter s. Training phase, you need to just enter s and add. Click save. Once this is done, scroll down to the fulfillment section and the agent says you have to copy this. Great, your flight is booked here only. Okay, once this is done, save it. So this is route saved successfully. Exit out. Next, negative confirmation route. So again, under the routes, you need to add one more intent. So this intent name will be confirmation no. Okay, click on plus new intent and the display name will be confirmation no, and the training phase section type no. So here you need to type no and enter. So once this is done, save it. Intent is saved successfully. Next, you need to scroll down until you find the transition. You need to select the page, and a page, click on ticket information. Then next, scroll up to parameter preset and click add a parameter. So here, add a parameter. This one, you should add all these 5 parameters and the value should be null. Just copy paste this. Next, destination city. Next is a departure date. Return date. passenger name. Okay, so once this is added, just save it. Exit out of this window. Okay, so knowledge check. Select the agent response that's best for casually confirming that tickets are booked. The transaction you requested has been completed. You'll receive an electronic copy of your tickets within the next 6 hours. And we would like to continue browsing upcoming events. This is an option. That continue to task 8 testing. To test that your agent works as intended, click on test agent in the upper right corner of the screen. So you can find a button. Click on test agent. So here I will copy. I will like to book a flight, and I'll test this agent. Book a flight. Enter. Asking now, what's your destination city? Let me give the city name. What is the month and day of the departure? So I will give March. What is the passenger name? It's Soumya. So you are getting all the response now. So great, your flight is booked. So now the test agent is working fine. So our testing is complete now. So if I now go back to this testing task, it will be complete. So now let's continue with the task 9, exporting your agent. So your next to the project you can see an agent. So you have to click on the drop down, click on view all agents. On the agent list screen, click the context menu next to your agent and then click export. So this is my agent. You can click here and click on export. So here you need to click on download to local file. Just click on export. So the agent has been exported. Now this task is complete. So you have successfully completed this lab. You can just go ahead and end this lab. So the last lab in this challenge is text managing environment. So this is for 1 hour. So let's start this lab. I'll click on start lab. Now the Google Cloud console is loaded. You have to agree to the terms of service. Click agree and continue. Okay. So the first task is this, getting started with Dialogflow CX. First get logged into Dialogflow CX and create a new agent. Name your virtual agent flight booker. So in a new incognito window, navigate to Dialogflow Cloud. Okay, so you just have to copy this and you open this. Accept the terms and condition. Check the account. So you are signed in with the student account. So you have to ensure that you're not signed in with your Gmail account because that will cost you. This student account will have access to do all the lab activities. So you have to always ensure that you log in with your student ID. Okay, next going back to this, select the student account that you started the lab with. Next, you explicitly specify that you want to use Dialogflow CX instead of Dialogflow ES. Okay, in the menu bar at the left, click on Dialogflow CX. Okay, you have to click on this Dialogflow CX and select your project. You will get this dialog box to enable the API. So you have to click on enable API and enable this. Okay, now it's done. You need to create an agent. To do that, we'll just go back to this. Click on create agent, enter name for the agent. So I can give whatever name you want to give. So I just give, click on create agent. Just give Claudio ABC. Okay. Next, accept the default location, ensure time zone default language is set appropriately, click create. So this is a default location which is listing for me, so I'm just leaving it as it is. Just enter create. So the default language you have to ensure it's English. So now the agent is created successfully. After creating the agent, navigate to agent settings, general logging settings, and click enable cloud logging and enable interaction logging option. So it's the same like as we did in the previous Dialogflow. Just go here, agent settings. So here under agent settings, you have to under login settings, you have to enable this, enable cloud logging, enable interaction logging. So this is what you have to enable it, and then click save. Okay, agent settings have been updated now. Okay, now just go back and check your progress. So the assessment is completed. Next, we will complete this task to importing a .blob virtual agent file. Import the virtual agent from the earlier lab, Dialogflow CX port building basics, and use it to explore the environment functionality. So click the following link to download the sample lab virtual agent solution to your local hard drive. So click here, it gets downloaded to your local machine. Okay, next select view all agents in the agent drop down. View all agents, you need to click, then here you have to click and click on restore. So this is what it says. Select view all agents in the agent drop down menu at the top of the dialog, then click the context menu, then click on restore and upload the file which you have downloaded. Okay, here just you're under like, so once you see this, you just have to click here and click on restore. Okay, click on upload here, select the file which you downloaded. So here is a file selected, restore. So agent has been restored. Once that is complete, you just click on here, check the progress, assessment is complete. Testing in the draft environment. Click on test agent in the upper right to open the simulator pane. Okay, let's click to click on test agent, and under environment it's a draft, then the flow is a default start flow, this is a one, and talk to agent you have to type I want to book a flight, click enter. So what response you need to get? You need to get this response, what city will like the flight to depart from. Okay, we'll see. We got the response from the agent. Check the progress, it's completed. Now let's move on to task for creating environments. Do that. So here it's under manage. Now just scroll down, click on environments, just click on create environment. So the display name should be QA. Okay, the okay, so select version for each flow, default start flow, no, okay, this you leave as is. So once this is done, click on save. So when you click on save, say start flow is not included in the environment, you are getting this error. So that is a known one. So you will see this message. Up to this point, you haven't created a published version of the default start flow. So what you have to do, you have to dismiss that, and just dismiss this and go to versions. Okay, here click on this default start flow and create a flow. So for that, what name to give? You have to give flight booker main. This name you just copy here and paste it. The description, So and the description you can just give some details. I'll just copy paste whatever is there over there. Then click save. This is saved now. Okay, go back. Click on default start flow. See, the status is still not ready. Meanwhile, we can try creating the environment again. So name should be QA and default. See, it's listing now default start flow. Okay, click on save. So the environment is created successfully. So now we need to test in a new environment. So next, click on test agent. Here, select QA from the environment drop down. So here you need to select QA, and the flow will be the default start flow. So now again you will ask this question. I want to book a flight. Just talk to agent, enter. You should get a response from the agent. What city you like the flight to depart from? So we got the message. And here the environment is QA. So we are now running in a QA environment with a default start flow. So this is working. So click on check my progress. It's done. Now let's move on to tasks creating an additional version. So now in order to do that, click on the build tab. Build tab. What else? Ticket information page. Okay, click on this. Let me close that. Next, click on the entry fulfillment. Okay, entry fulfillment. Yeah. Add a new prompt in the agency's box saying I will be happy to assist you with that. Okay, you need to add this prompt. Entry fulfillment. To edit, okay. Here you need to add. Okay, add. And what else? Click save. Okay, now this is successful. Now go back to manage. And versions, click on the default start flow to begin the process of creating a new version for it. So click here. So here go to manage and click on versions, then you click on default start flow, then click on create. Your display name you have to give. Okay, this one, just copy this name, enter here, and then copy this name, description, and enter, and save it. So the version is saved successfully. So now we are done with task 6. We will perform task 7, creating an additional environment. So repeat the steps you followed about to create a new environment called dev that uses a new version 2 of your default start flow. Okay, so how to do that? You have to go to manage and again go to environments and create environment. So the name should be dev. Okay, dev start flow. You have to select this one, flight booker main v2 chat box. Okay, that's it. So once this is done, once you have selected this, just save it. Okay, now it's now this is our environment is created. Click on test agent. Here you select the dev environment. Okay, here we will talk to an agent again. Here, so we should get a response from the agent for this as well. See, you got a response from the agent. Check my progress. So now this is also complete. Let's try to answer this question. What must you do before you can deploy a virtual agent to an existing custom environment? This is the answer. You must create a version of the virtual agent and then create a new environment. So now let's move on to task 8, managing different environments. So we have now created 2 environments and loaded different version into each. What if you need need to change the version loaded into one of those environments? So just click on environments. Let me close this panel. Click on the QA environment. So here you will select the main V2 chatbot and now save it. So now the environment is set successfully. See, the last modified is changed now because we have just now modified this QA environment. So you can now see the modified timings here. So now we have to ensure that this version 2 is loaded. So what we do, test agent. So we have changed the QA, right? I want to book a flight. So this is a version 2. Yeah, this message contains in the version 2. So now it's showing that. Okay, so we have verified that as well. So now go back and load flight booker main v1 chatbot to the QA environment. So now we will revert back. So just go to QA and select the flight booker, then save it. Okay, now we have reverted back to version 1. So what again we need to retest it, right? So click on test agent, select the QA environment. Okay, again here you run, I want to book a flight, just enter. Now you should not see the friendly greetings. It will be just one simple message. What city will like the flight to depart? So this is what version 1 contains. Okay. So that's it with this specific task. Let's try to do this. When you see the message start flow is not included in the environment, what does it mean? So this is an answer for that. You cannot create a custom environment because there are no existing versions that could be deployed to it. And the next one, when you want to test the default start flow for a version of your agent in a specific environment, you must do what at minimum, choose the most accurate answer. This is answer, specify which environment you mean to test in. At this lab, you can just go and hit the lab.